We intentionally did it here so we could show.
I know. I'm like, there you go. So excited.
Yeah, testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. Okay. All right. Thank you, everybody, for coming out here today. Today's a great day. If you'd asked me a week ago if we'd be out here saying that Officer Zach Martinez would be going home, I wouldn't have believed it. But that is the case. The night of the incident, just to preface some of the injuries and the condition that Officer Martinez was in, the first officer that responded to him was also an EMT. And in his words, he thought he was dead. He said he tested for his pulse and was surprised when he found one. From that moment, the care, the love, and the support that has been surrounding Officer Martinez, and by the grace of God, we're very grateful that he's going home today. He still has a very long road to recovery. His list of injuries has not lessened. I'll let Dr. Wentz come up here and talk about some of his injuries in just a moment. But I can't emphasize enough how important it is to all of us in the San Diego Police Department and to everybody in the public safety field to have care and professionalism like you get here with Sharp Hospital. I talked with Zach a little bit earlier, and I said, hey, we're going to be out here doing this press conference. Is there anything you'd like me to share? And he said the care that he received from the nurses and the doctors here at Sharp Hospital was nothing short of amazing. He's very grateful, and he appreciates all the prayers that he's been receiving. So with that, let me bring up the chief of the trauma department here at Sharp Hospital, Dr. Wentz.
Hi, good afternoon, and thank you for allowing me to speak at your press conference. I'm Diane Wentz. I'm the Trauma Medical Director at Sharp Memorial. Officer Martinez arrived to our care at the most critical time of his life. He had been involved in a massive trauma event, and our team was responsible for responding to him and taking care of his injuries in that moment. Sharp Memorial serves the city of San Diego. San Diego County is a well-oiled machine for trauma. There are 5 adult trauma centers. I chose to work at Sharp Memorial because this place is like a family. And in fact, generations of families work here and retire from here. Our entire duty is to take care of you when you are at your most injured or ill, and I think we do that well. We are here to serve the community. Officer Martinez suffered from burns, a broken neck, multiple facial injuries, and we were able to take care of him and get him back to a place where he can continue his recovery at home. I also want to thank our extensive team, starting with our pre-hospital system, our EMS, our county service lines, the people who respond to injured patients in the very beginning at the scene, and bring them to us so that we can provide our care. I also want to thank the nursing staff who bend over backwards to treat every patient like family. We do everything that we can to make your visit as comfortable as possible. I also want to thank the endless staff members and the entire workforce that is inside this building that shows up to work every day, leaving their families so that they can take care of the people of San Diego. And finally, I would like to thank the police force for all that they do to protect us and keep us safe, including here at work and on our way home. Thank you.
Today is nothing short of a miracle. And I know there were a lot of people that provided help that day. Our firefighters, the medics, and the staff here at Sharp Hospital. Because of some of his injuries, the staff over at UCSD as well assisted. And I think Dr. Wentz probably said it best. We have a special community here in San Diego, and it's times like this that bring people together. And if there is a silver lining when we have tragedies like this, it's the way that we do come together. So with that, I will open up the floor to a few questions. But understand, there are a lot of questions regarding this incident that we still don't have answers to. And so I'll do the best I can. He's going to stay here locally. He's surrounded by family, and he'll be able to check in and out of the hospital as needed as he recovers.
Talk a little bit about just the crash itself. We had heard that the chase had been called off, and then they were broadsided. So I'm just kind of curious to see, what you can talk about in terms of them being broadsided. How did that occur, and how fast was the suspect going at the time of the collision?
Those are all good questions, and unfortunately, I don't have all the answers to them. Basically, the basic preliminary information that we saw out there at the scene is still our understanding of how things happened and occurred. We're waiting for the Highway Patrol to do their investigation. We wanted to make sure that we had an outside agency take a look at this incident, and we want to give them the time and the respect to do that investigation as thoroughly as possible, and however long that takes.
Medical examiner's report stated that he was ejected from the car. Could you explain what led up to those injuries that Dr. Wentz stated?
That's a good question, but I'm not. Are you asking medical injuries, or are you asking?
Specifically, what during the crash caused him to have those injuries, the broken neck, the burns?
From our perspective, that's going to be hard to say. Obviously, it was a very violent collision. Being ejected out of a vehicle, we all understand, what it takes for that to occur, and ultimately landing out in the street. Like I said, when the first officer went up to him, his impression was that he was dead, and the first thing he did was check for a pulse. So. The totality of those circumstances led to all those injuries that he's received.
How long was the chase? And this is your first incident like this happening while on your watch, so to speak. You've been through this before. How is this kind of different, being in the rank and file versus now as chief, having to deal with something?
Well, the duration of the attempt at a traffic stop, which turned into a very brief pursuit to the point of impact, is going to be very short. We're talking 20, 30 seconds. The exact time, I don't know. We'll wait for this investigation to conclude. But it was a very short duration. I tell you, Amari, you think you're referencing Jeremy Henwood when Jeremy was shot and killed. And I'll tell you this, it's never easy. Our police officers have got a very difficult job that they do every single day. They put their lives on the line for people they don't even know. And the sacrifices that go on behind the scenes, and the additional burdens that they carry during times like this I tell you, I'm very inspired by the courageous work. Everybody's coming back, doing their job, being professional, protecting and serving. And I'm very proud to be the police chief of the San Diego Police Department right now.
Has he said anything? What has he said about getting back on the force, or just his spirits? What's he saying? How is he?
Well, one, he's very thankful. I'll tell you that. He's very thankful to be alive. He's very thankful to, have a path to recovery. Whether he'll get back to full duty, it still remains to be seen. It's still too early. He's got a long road of recovery. We told him not to rush and to take this time. He's surrounded by family, which is a good thing. And we're all just grateful that we're standing here today to say that he's being released from the hospital.
Doctor, if you could apologize for having to dig just a little bit deeper. You mentioned burns. If you could step to the mic also too. You mentioned burns. Can you talk about the severity of those burns? You mentioned neck injury. Does that mean anything with regards to the rest of his body? Can you just dig a little deeper for us?
There was no paralysis, and the burns were considered something that we can manage here at Sharp Memorial. We did bring in a specialist from the UCSD Burn Center, and then ultimately Officer Martinez was transferred because of the location of the burn injuries. So in general, if there's a burn sustained to face or hands, visible, workable areas of the body, then those need a little bit more care and attention with additional expertise from burn experts. And we're very appreciative of having our colleagues at UCSD who can assist and provide support for that.
Can you speak to maybe his strength at all in terms of this was a week ago, a lot of people just thinking like, whoa, we didn't know. Can you speak about his strength and his recovery time? And is this amazing, miraculous, or is this normal?
Comparing it to other patients who may have had similar conditions.
I think anytime anyone is injured, it has a tremendous impact on their lives. The role that we play, we hope that it will be short and that it will lead to an expeditious recovery, but we know that patients leave the hospital and then they must maintain their motivation, sometimes upwards of a year, for a full and complete recovery.
Just like much of a year for recovery?
Just in general, for trauma injuries, that the time span of that recovery is often much longer than they are here under our care. They do the majority of their work at home.
Did you see him getting back to running, doing his right things and all that kind of stuff?
It's still too early for us to speculate on what his actual recovery will be, but we are wishing him the absolute best, and we provided the absolute best level of care to him so that he could achieve that goal.
One more question.
Discharged from the hospital. When will he be discharged from the hospital?
He was discharged about an hour and a half ago. So he's been released, yeah.
And then have you guys specified exactly why the 16-year-old was speeding or the traffic stop?
Yeah, all that hopefully will come out in the investigation. At this point, we have no idea what preceded. When he was driving down the street at a high rate of speed, what preceded that, we don't have a good understanding just yet. Let me close by saying he still has a long road to recovery. Keep him in your prayers and respect his privacy as he gets back on his feet again. Thank you very much.
Great job. Thank you.
Are you in Northern or not Northern, or are you up Central? Yeah, okay. All right.
Yeah. So, when he did his reorganization, Or is there another one in Spanish?